What is up? This is Draft Dashboard, and we are locking in our NFL DFS picks for this slate. We are going position by position, telling you exactly why these plays make sense for tournaments and cash. Let us start with quarterback. Sam Darnold from Seattle draws New England, who have a tough defense overall, but he carries a dash rank of 100 with a salary of $16,200 and a projection of 18 points. The appeal here is ceiling plus leverage. He just posted 30 fantasy points one game ago after back-to-back nines, and that volatility is exactly what we target when the field is likely to underrate him. His narrative is not fluff either. Essentially, sports laid out his arc from punchline to Super Bowl winner in Seattle, and that piece mirrors what we care about in DFS. A quarterback operating confidently in a system he now commands with elite weapons. We want to pair that confidence with correlation, which brings us to Jackson Smith-Njigba in a bit. We also like Drake May from New England in the same game at 16,500 with a projection of 21 points and 22 fantasy points per game. Seattle have a tough defense overall. Yet May's recent run of 16, 17, and 19 shows a stable floor with room to grow. Local coverage has emphasized that New England are actively bolstering his receiving core, which supports the projection. He works as a bringback to Darnold's stacks or as a direct pivot with higher raw projection if you think New England control tempo. On to running back. Kenneth Walker, the third from Kansas City, is a ceiling play at 14,700 with a projection of 16. New England have a tough defense overall, but Walker's recent 21, 39, and 17-point games scream slate-breaking upside. The news market supports the role. Reports noted that the Chiefs pounced to sign the Super Bowl LX MVP, and the team's draft posture reinforced their intent to feature him. In a tighter matchup against a strong defense, we often prefer explosive runners who can create points in fewer touches, and Walker fits that mold. Ramondre Stevenson from New England at 13,200 projects for 16 and averages 13 per game. Seattle have a tough defense overall, so this is more of a volume plus game environment play. If you lean on New England to sustain drives through May, Ramondre benefits as a chain mover with touchdown equity. He has produced 16, 12, and 7 in his last 3, so you are paying for a median that still gives you outs through touchdowns if the pass game stalls in the red zone. Wide receiver time, and we are building around Jackson Smith-Njigba from Seattle at 11,600. Dash rank 100, projected 27, with 23 fantasy points per game and a recent surge of 34, 11, and 14. He faces New England, who have a tough defense overall, and that should naturally cap ownership. We chase concentrated volume on elite talents in difficult matchups when the projection still leads the position. Multiple articles this week, including coverage of his Super Bowl run and his belief that he has earned a record-setting deal, underline what we already see on film and in the numbers. He is the alpha, and we maximize that by stacking with Darnold. Rashid Shaheed from Seattle is our salary saver at 6,300 with a projection of 10 and 9 fantasy points per game. The Patriots have a tough defense overall, but Shaheed's role as a field stretcher complements JSN's volume. The Unsung Heroes feature on Essentially Sports highlighted his impact in big moments, and those spike plays are how you beat single-entry chalk when he connects on one deep shot. We will also mix in Mac Hollins from New England at 5,400 with a projection of 8 and an 8-point per game average. Seattle have a tough defense overall, but Hollins has posted 7, 14, and 8 the last 3 and offers a sensible bringback with May stacks or as a runback in Darnold builds. Recent reporting about New England compensating Hollins with a bonus, despite narrowly missing an incentive, quietly tells us the team values his contribution, which tends to translate to steady snaps. Tight end is a two-way street on this slate. Hunter Henry from New England at 10,500 projects for 10 and averages 11. Seattle have a tough defense overall, so we are targeting red zone usage more than raw yardage. Sportsline's TE props spotlighted Henry among their top looks, and that squares with our expectation that a young quarterback under pressure will lean on his tight end near the goal line. A.J. Barner from Seattle is the tournament pivot at 7,200 with a projection of 8 and 9 fantasy points per game. New England have a tough defense overall, and Barner has been quiet, with 3, 0, and 3 in his last 3, which should keep him almost unplayed. With defensive attention tilting toward JSN and the vertical shot to Shaheed, Barner gives us access to a cheap touchdown in correlated Darnold stacks. Kicker is live in this matchup environment. Jason Myers from Seattle at 8,100 projects for 11 and comes off 7, 11, and 8. New England have a tough defense overall, and that is the signal we want for field goal opportunities when drives bog down. The national discussion around his Super Bowl performance, including the 5 field goals and near MVP chatter, reinforces that Seattle trust him in high-leverage spots. In a likely tight one, we are in. Andy Borregales from New England at 7,500 projects for 9 and posted 4, 4, and 10. Seattle have a tough defense overall, and the Essentially Sports features on Borregales' fast rise confirm he is locked in as the primary place kicker. If you are playing a Patriots lean with May moving the ball between the 20s, Borregales captures that value when they settle for 3s. Defense and special teams. We prefer the Patriots at 1,000. They have produced 12, 7, and 5 in the last 3 and can pressure Darnold enough to rack up sacks and short fields. If you are fading Seattle stacks, this is a clean leverage path to correlate with a My Plus Ramondre build. Now let us tie the stacks together. Primary stack is Sam Darnold with Jackson Smith and Jigba, optionally adding Rashid Shaheed, and running it back with either Drake May or a one-off, like Hunter Henry or Mac Hollins. If you flip to a Patriot stance, pair Drake May with Hunter Henry or Mac Hollins and bring it back with JSN, using Kenneth Walker as a separate tournament lever in non-Patriots lineups. We are planting flags because the data backs it. JSN's elite dash rank and recent 34-point spike in a tough matchup point to slate winning volume at suppressed ownership. Darnold's ceiling game 1 week ago reminds us he can match the league's top scores when paired with his number 1. Walker's 39 2 games back keeps his explosion in play regardless of opponent strength, and both kickers project cleanly because both defenses are strong enough to force stalled drives. We will have more tools and lineup paths in the optimizer, but these are the core plays we are building around tonight. Good luck!